ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Craft 3. It's our third Comical Reflections About Poker evening. Apologies about the crowd. A lot of people have things on. We changed the date once and that caused quite a few problems, but we'll battle on. It's going to be on YouTube, so you can share it amongst your friends and whatever. We've actually been to shows in the past. I went to one where Doug Walters was speaking, and only two of us showed up. So Doug just had a couple of beers and a couple of smokes with us and then left. So we've done better than Doug. So hope you enjoy yourselves tonight. We've got a lineup of some great comedians. I'll bring them out one at a time when it's their turn. But we've got Shane Baxter. Woo! So, yeah! We've got Tin Win. Yes, Tin! Linda Gendel, unfortunately, she's joined the list of apologies. She's come down with COVID in the last couple of days, so Linda won't be joining us, but she sends her love and not her coughs. Martin Pink. Pinky. His wife Michelle is here somewhere rounding up another customer outside, I believe. And Paddy Rogers. And it wouldn't be a comedy night without the gong, and our official gong master tonight is none other than Shane Warren. No, Jerry. Jerry Dang is on the gong tonight. That's his mate. Jerry was just saying to Shane that luck is more important than skill. Okay, this is where it all started for me with poker. That's my brother who's actually in the audience tonight. 1 year older brother, Phil. And even from that young age, that was about 60 years ago that photo was taken. And he was always saying, I'll beat you. And it was that competitive spirit that got us into the poker world. So he's going to have a crack at the free roll later on. This year's been the year of cheats. We had the Royal Poker scandal, and I don't know whether anyone recognises the guy in the photo.
Mike Postle.
Ah, very good, Mike Postle. Now, there was a guy calling himself Mike Postle online who caused a bit of a stir during the year and did some fantastic posts. But I looked up cheating online. I found out about this guy. This guy no one probably recognises, but he was a politician. Have you ever known a politician to cheat or lie?
Every time.
No. Well, this guy is a guy called Pettigrew. He was a senator from South Dakota. And Pettigrew got in this big stakes cash game with this other guy. And this was in the days when they had draw poker. So you had 5 cards, you discarded the ones you didn't want. So they did a lot of pre-draw betting. And the other guy sat pat. He didn't take any cards at all. Pettigrew took 4. And then after he'd taken the 4, they had another big round of betting and they finished up going all in. So there were probably sheep stations involved. So this Pettigrew, the politician, won the hand. The guy who sat pat had a full house. And Pettigrew, after taking 4 cards, turned over this hand. The royal flush in clubs. Now, he wasn't actually caught cheating, so no one knows to this day whether he cheated, but comments were made at the time after taking 4 cards, the odds of getting a royal flush. They got a jackpot going here for $18,000 that no one seems to be able to get. Lots of people having lots of tries. But so you be the judge. Was he cheating? Oh, I think he was.
Yeah. He looks like he's got an honest face though.
Yeah. Now, 1989, a lot of you people weren't playing poker. Some of you weren't even born then. But the Australasian Poker Championships used to be here in Adelaide. And in 1989, all the New Zealanders, all the Aussies, all came here to Adelaide, which was the home of poker. And it was a massive year for poker that year. Doyle Brunson came over. Johnny Chan, who was the World Series of Poker current champion. Amarillo Slim, they all came to town. Anyone get involved that year? Fred? Alan? No? George?
Errol would have been.
Errol would have been, yeah. Anyway, in 1989, the story goes, welcome Bock, Mike, and all the others. You'll have to squeeze in one of the back tables, we're a bit pressed for room. In 1989, they had a home game. Instead of paying rake at the casino, they were all staying at the Hyatt Hotel next door, which is now the Intercontinental. And according to this book I read recently that George brought down with Errol from Interstate, in 1989, Doyle Brunson lost $200,000 in that game when he was in Adelaide. So there are Adelaide poker players who managed to fleece him, and some of the internationals as well. And this guy, Johnny Chan, who was the world champion at the time, he went to go to the casino to play in one of the big events, and they wouldn't let him in because he was wearing $500 designer jeans. So yeah, we had a dress code in those days when the casino opened. These days Nick Williams rolls up with his shorts and thongs. They even let Pinky in. He wears thongs all year round. Now this guy, the most dramatic end to a poker game ever, they say, was Wild Bill Hickok. Wild Bill Hickok had the aces and eights and got shot in the back of the head. So they call that the dead man's hand. This was Poker Jim, artist's impression. So Poker Jim was playing in a game out in the old Wild West, and according to this history book I read about poker, they said they were running out of supplies. They were on a hunting trip, so they sent Poker Jim into the nearest town, probably Deadwood City or something, to get some more supplies. Anyway, he didn't make it. So eventually, a few days later, they found him frozen stiff. And the ground was too hard to bury him, so they took him back to the hut where they were playing poker and hanging out, and they put him up on the rafters. And anyway, days went by, they left, and then another group came in, they were playing poker, and apparently Poker Jim thawed out sufficiently to plummet from the rafters and land in the middle of their poker game. So they say that was the second most dramatic finish to a poker game.
They could have just pushed him off and get playing.
Yeah, I know, they could have. This was a home game we had in Adelaide. You might recognise Lenny and a few of the other players, Lucky Lindsay and a few others that were in the game. But the guy who's hidden from view, in about there, yeah, Matty G's there, the guy there where the arrow's pointing, that was our mate JP. And JP used to wear, he'd say, "Jesus, Lenny, can't you fix the lights in here? Jesus, mate, I can't see a thing." So he used to put on his miner's torch so he could see the card. And he used to go, "Oh, don't go to Sydney, John, you can't play with too many fucking Asians over there. Too many fucking Asians, you've got to watch out over there." And he used to carry on, and one night, remember Habib? Habib lived in Adelaide, now he's gone up to Queensland, but Habib was playing. And JP goes, "Jesus, Lenny, where did you get him from? Where did you get him from?" He goes. And he said, "What's his name? Kebab." And very quickly, this was a boat I played a bit of poker on, Carnival Splendor. Jenny and I spent a memorable 7 weeks on the boat, and they had this electronic table. And there was this one woman on the boat. She was having an affair with the guy who ran the poker room at the Luxor Casino in Las Vegas. So he'd smuggled her on board. And anyway, one night he'd gone to bed. She came down, she started playing on his credit card, lost a lot of money. And then all of a sudden the table went off. All the lights were blinking, went off. She'd actually switched it off at the wall, and she thought she'd get out of paying what she owed on the credit card. But things were pretty cool between the two lovers the next day. And there was another guy on the boat. He was about 18, but obviously a pretty good online poker player, and he kept arriving at the poker table, but he was on the cruise with his mother. So his mother kept finding him there and going, "Daniel, no more poker for you, back to the room, please." And the third time she caught him, that was it. We never saw him again. Yep, and they had a $2,000 a day limit on the boat because they encouraged responsible gambling. So there was one guy on the boat. He was a few sausages short of a barbie, and his parents had sent him on the cruise to get in shape, but he was just losing money hand over fist to all the players. So I reported him to hotel services, and they stopped the flow of money, because by the time we got into the next port, it was going to be 16 days, his old man could have had a credit card bill of 32,000. He was just losing money, so that was kind of funny. And then very briefly, Macau, this driver was taking us into Macau through this tunnel. And I said, how long is this tunnel? And he said, about 1960. And I said, no, how long? How long? More than 50 years. And final one, Adolf Hitler during the war, he didn't play poker, but his rival in America, that was the President of America, FDR, Franklin Delano Roosevelt at the time, he used to play poker every night to unwind. So he used to play, according to this book, with his wife's female lover and his own lover and a couple of the other senators. So Eleanor Roosevelt left Franklin Delano, didn't like him anymore. So she had a female lover, but she used to play poker, and so did this other, his lover as well, keep it in the family. But the game he used to play, yeah, they were all in. Yeah. Very good, Martin, they were all in. Should have saved that for your material.
I got none.
Yeah. And the funny thing was, the game he used to play was One-Eyed Jack's Wild, or Woolworths, which was it was a 5 and 10 store. So 5s and 10s Wild, or One-Eyed Jack's Wild. Anyway, our first comedian is none other than Shane Baxter. We've got a couple of notes here on Shane. Shane used to be a pro golfer.
Still are.
He's still the pro at Tea Tree Gully Golf Course. He was briefly on the pro golf tour, playing golf around the world. His poker can be compared to a roller coaster, or a yo-yo, or a seesaw, or a prostitute's panties. Always up and down. He's a Collingwood tragic.
Hey,
His poker's a bit like his golf. His best is very impressive, but then he'll go a bit wayward. Anyway, let's bring out Shane Baxter. There he is on the golf.
get him, Baxter!
There he is. And that can be your intro slide. There he is with
Jack Daniel.
I had money one time.
Nick Williams and Joel Williams, no relations. Let's welcome Shane.
And Jack Daniel.
Thanks everyone for inviting me tonight. Although you did mention to me that he would have loved to have Stephen Hawking up here first, but apparently he can't do stand-up. On the way here tonight, I stopped in to my premature ejaculators meeting. It turns out it's tomorrow. Caught the train in tonight, and sitting across from me was this really hot Asian girl. And the whole trip I was thinking to myself, please don't get a boner, please don't get a boner. But she did. A couple of months ago, my granddad called me and said, Shane, I'm having trouble printing from my computer. How do I do this? And I said, it's easy, just Control P. And he said, I haven't been able to do that for years. Unfortunately, Granddad passed away a few months ago. And for me, I want to go out exactly the way he did, just peacefully in his sleep. Not yelling and screaming like his passengers were. Before he died though, he was always whinging about the price of everything. $9 for car park, $6.20 for a bloody coffee. I said, well, I didn't invite you to come over. So a little bit about myself, previous jobs I've had. I used to work at a calendar factory, but I got fired for taking a day off. Quit my job at the helium factory. I refused to be spoken to in that tone. I was a bank teller, lost interest. My girlfriend recently broke up with me, so I stole her wheelchair. Guess who come crawling back? But the reason she broke up with me, she came over one night, she accused me of cheating. And I said, hang on, you're starting to sound exactly like my wife. I'm sure you've all seen the recent Oscars with Will Smith slapping the shit out of Chris Rock. So apparently Jada doesn't like jokes about alopecia. Oh well, it's her loss. But if Will Smith ever gets lost in the snow, all you have to do to find him is follow the Fresh Prince. Last night I went to the pub dressed as a tennis ball. Got served straight away. Missed that joke. And I've also invented a new game, and it's called Quiet Tennis. It's the same as normal tennis, but without the racket. I'm into fitness. I like going to the gym, and last week I called my personal trainer and I said, I'd like to learn how to do the splits. And he said, well, how flexible are you? I said, I can't do Tuesdays or Fridays. Bought myself a Fitbit recently as well to keep track of all the data. And when I wear the Fitbit on my right hand, I get about 4,000 or 5,000 steps in. When I wear it on my left hand, I get jizz on it. So I thought I'd just finish on a poker joke. What animal never loses at poker? A buffalo. So, that's it for me. Have a good night, and hopefully there's a few buffaloes.
Well done, Shane. And our gong master hasn't even stood up yet. No, obviously very good material. I thought the one about the buffalo was going to be the cheetah. Yeah. Our next speaker is the famous Tin Win. His parents named him Tin Win because he's very tinny and he's very winny. He's actually been back to back to back Luck Box of the Year, which says something about his poker style. Also, I think Jerry's been co-winner with him, but the next slide shows Tin with his old man in Mount Gambier. We went over for a wonderful trip 3 years ago now. It's been cancelled the last 2 years because of COVID. But Alan Rye, who's up the back, and myself and Tin were doing a bit of sightseeing in between games. And we were walking around, a lot of family groups in the park. And someone was looking at us, as if to say, that's an unusual family. So I said, we picked him up in Vietnam. He's a lovely boy. So since then, Tin has been our unofficial son. We're very proud of him. He's winning a lot more money than Alan and myself. He's the master of the matchroom points. Every player suffered from Tin. And on social media, if you follow his stuff, somehow he's become a white right-wing conservative. I'm not sure how that happened. But I welcome Tin Win to the stage.
Let's get it, Kitty!
Jerry just said, why is that slide there? Well, that was when Jerry and Tin and Raman won equal Luck Box of the Year. And we know what happened after that. Didn't end well for one of those three.
Thank you, John.
Tin, stand up, mate.
You see me alright? But still. This one? Stand here. This is my first time, so please be kind.
Boom! I'll come stand and change, I can't do it.
Yeah, so obviously you all know me as John and Alan's adopted son. Two poker veterans, same-sex couple there. It's funny, so one is a ex-soldier and another one is an anti-war hippie. I'm not sure how they get up together, but yeah. But then a pair is always opposite, right? Anyway, poker is fascinating, we all love it, but what's fascinating for me is the conversation you have on the table and what you hear as well. So apart from the bad beat stories, which Jerry features in 50% of them, myself the other 50, you hear like conversations that entertainment, sports, politics, which I won't get into. Yeah, there's a few guys in here that pretty well versed about the economy and the market exchanges. So if you ask them the price of Coke, they'll tell you exactly how many grams you can get for other conversation I've heard was like more personal things, like lady one time around the table. She asked, "Oh, do you have any pets or cats or dogs?" And people around her like start sharing Instagram photo of their dogs and cats. And yeah, she said, I love my cat. He's really fatty and really sweet. And I'm thinking, that's fucking weird. The last cat I had tasted savoury. I'm kidding. As Asian, we don't eat cats and dogs. We don't go that far. No. Puppies and kittens, the more tender and juicy. But yeah, another stereotypes about Asians that I have to bust here is about penis size. Well, that one's true. For all the Asian guys in this room except for me. Bob can vouch for me. He can for just for him.
Oh, I see, she can vouch.
The next topic is probably one of the most analysts talked about. It's like the what happens on poker trip stays on poker trip. Yeah, that one. I've heard some crazy, kinky, like sinful stuff. But because of the poker player code, I won't be sharing any of that with you tonight. However, Jenny, you should interrogate John. That guy is an animal. But I'll share one of my experience on the Aussie Millions back when 4 years ago. Yeah, so it was, I made it to day 2, and then so went to the food court. It was late at night, like past 1, and it was fairly empty, and so I just sat down and had a meal. So
Ran out of kittens.
Sorry?
You ran out of kittens.
They didn't say anything. So yeah, halfway through, this gorgeous angel just came, sat right next to me. I'm thinking, really? Of all the empty chairs? Anyway, so we just started talking, and the conversation, flowed from one topic to another with no awkward pauses. And yeah, it was gone really, really good. And it seems like we know each other for like, since past lifetime or whatever. And by the end of it, it was like 2 hours long, but it felt like 10 minutes. I was asked to go to the hotel room, but then my conscience started flashing images of my wife and kids back at home, showing me all the support and love they have for me to go out and play while she's at home looking after the kids. So luckily my conscience, my integrity, my principle prevailed, and I declined. Besides,
Oh, sure.
yeah, besides he was too young, so. You all thought I was talking about a girl? If it was, I would have been all in with at least 5 Reeboks. Man, that's all I got. Thanks.
Well done, Tim. Now, Tim mentioned eating cats and kittens. You can actually order food after the show. There's some amazing food specials, $15. Just order through the bar after the show. Now, our next speaker was going to be Linda, but Linda said had COVID. So that brings up Martin Pink, who's our Mount Gambier representative. He's come all the way down from Mount Gambier to join us tonight. So a couple of things about Pinky. His wife Michelle is up the back now. Welcome, Michelle. He's one of the 2 main organisers of the Johnny Walker Classic. So if you're not doing anything in June, Alan and Tin and myself recommend that one. He often runs deep in tourneys, here and in the state. He's got the ability to run up enormous bar bills with the Mount Gambier crew. He works for Wright Logging down the mount, which is why he can't see the forest for the trees. And he starts work at ridiculous times like 4 o'clock in the morning. So please welcome Pinky. Yeah, so Pinky and I are just going to have a chat about life down the mount and whatever. So first of all, Pinky, why do you wear thongs all year round?
I hate fucking shoes.
Okay, very good. Now, you and Foxy are the 2 main guys behind the the Johnny Walker Classic. Tell us a little bit about that.
We've been going 2 years since COVID. Just two blokes who love poker, enjoy ourselves playing poker, meet people. One for poker, me and Gamble, I wouldn't know none of you people, especially Jerry donked me a few times at 10. One guy I'd like to really thank is Alan Rye. He got me, Foxy and Tony Brown and a few others boys come up and play up at Mainlands one night. And two of the Foxy and Longy, two coppers, come up there and take out first and second. Then the final week, they got the crime squad checking Foxy out and Longy out for winning the money at a venue. So they did get in a bit of trouble, but they got out of it though.
Yeah, pace and know some cops on the inside, doesn't it? Yeah. I think Foxy's probably been protecting a lot of the poker venues because he seems to go to them. Now, you also had an experience, I think you went over to WSOP 2019. Tell us a bit about that experience.
I wasn't playing the main event, so I played in the event, it was $5 grand to buy in. And Michelle was sitting against the wall, I think it's about 4,000 players in this event. I sat there for 10 hours and never won a hand. Michelle's going, what the fuck you doing? I said, I'm just playing cards, it wasn't working out. So yeah, it was a good experience, enjoyed it. Another time we were at the MGM. Had some female dealer there one night. She come in and started dealing, and she wasn't bad. And it was good as $1 drinks. I've had about 40 scotches that night, and the following night we're going back again, and she's come down and sat down and played poker. And I'm talking to one American, I think it's Italian or something like that. And he goes, oh, what's it like in Australia with your kangaroos and koalas? So they're just effing feral things they are. And he goes, what do you mean feral? And this girl sitting over there listening and said, oh, they walk out in the middle of the road, I just run them over and just kill them. Who cares about it? And this chick goes, you joking? I said, no. I said, I reckon I've killed probably 6,000 kangaroos in my time going to work at 3 in the morning, and she just picked up her bloody chips and she stormed off. She didn't want him to sit there with me, she hated me.
This is the sort of representative we have overseas, Representative Australia. Pinky, we kill all our animals over there. We are animals, basically. Now, the Mount Gambier boys, we get the pleasure of playing with some of them at the Southern Poker Tour and here at the Match Room. A little bit of dirt on some of those guys.
There'll be one bloke, if you don't know him, if he's G'day, Starkey from the Bay. We've gone to a couple of venues and we had a game at Loxton, and Derek Long had a policing side of it down there, and so I come down and play a game of poker pinging, ping the boys down. So it took about 15 down there. We all decided to play poker. We won every raffle in the venue. And Longy's missus got blinds at back, and Michelle had to take her home. So all Michelle remembers driving into the car park at this golf club. When she went to reverse out, she reversed out and took off. Well, the road's that way. Well, she's gone through the whole 19 greens by 4-wheel drive. In and out. She got to the last hole and it comes to C intersection. Oh, I know where I am now. Got home. So and it was their golf championships the next day. But Starkey from the Bay, he'd get himself pissed, and we come home one night from the same venue. Starkey walks in, pissed. What's this to do? He's just pissing on the carpet in the room. Another bloke's laying alongside him and getting splashes all over him. But like Starkey, he writes himself off here. But I could say a few more stories, but I think I might get myself into trouble.
I'll say that's Andrew Stark.
Yeah.
So Starkey from the Bay. I live at the Bay, so I'm Starkey from the Bay as well. So sometimes they get Starkey from the Bay mixed up. And when I was going down to Mount Gambier, Starkey said, "I've got to come and stay at my place, mate." And he keeps sending me pictures of his best wines and his barbecue and stuff.
Yeah.
But I thought I won't stay with him. Good idea.
True. Yeah. No, I'll go there.
Okay. So just to finish off, all the years you've been playing poker, anything memorable you want to mention?
Just going to Vegas. Yeah, just going to Vegas. That's the biggest eye opener in the world. you want to play poker, go there, and you don't have to be a drinker. Enjoy yourself going to Vegas, but it does help.
Don't ask for the piss house because I don't know
Yeah.
what's called over there.
Yeah. Yeah, I said to this girl, I said, oh, where's the piss house around here? She goes, piss house? She says, where do you have a piss? Piss. Where do you go for a squat? Oh, restroom over there. So yeah, good fun.
Okay, big round of applause for Martin Pink. How much?
Ticket to me again.
Oh, there you go. So Pinky's just said he's going to put a bounty on his head in the tournament tonight too. So if you knock Pinky out, which is a fair achievement because he does play good poker, you win a main ticket event, Johnny Walker Classic down at Mount Gambier. Is it fully transferable or you got to come down?
Got to come down.
Got to come down, yeah, fair enough. Okay. One thing, when I was talking to Martin during the week, I said that I was still coming down to Mount Gambier for the June long weekend, but I mentioned Alan wasn't coming down with me this year. But Martin actually made a suggestion, which has been taken up by the match room. He said, I think Alan Rye deserves life membership at the match room. So I said to the match room team, and they said, look, what are we going to do? We need to have criteria. How can we award life membership? So they said anyone who has done the same as the AFL, which is 300 games as a player or as an administrator, deserves life membership. So after our next comedian, we're going to wrap up. Seeing we haven't got Linda here tonight, we've got a few spare minutes. So we're going to present our new life membership of the match room key rings. They've just been specially engraved, came hot off the press yesterday. So came from Martin's suggestion, so much appreciate the suggestion. And which brings us to our headline act. The reason he's the headline act is because he's been on YouTube before. So we actually, his grandma doesn't know. So don't tag him in any of this stuff because his grandma thinks he's a very sweet, innocent young lad. He's had his 40th birthday this last week. He had 40 and Michelle had 30, so they combined 70th. A couple of things about Paddy. He can be found on YouTube, as I mentioned. If you look him up, Paddy Rogers, 2009 on YouTube. He used to play top-level volleyball, and I've seen evidence on Facebook of him leaping as high as that famous crow, Tony Modra. Now, I forgot to show Pinky. There's Pinky. There's Pinky doing his Adolf Hitler impersonation at the Mount Gambier Classic 3 years ago. And that's Alan Rye's son there, Isaac, too. And there's Pinky. And that's the Poker Classic coming up. So there's one of Paddy. There's another one of Paddy. And have a look at this. That is actually Paddy Rogers in his volleyball playing days. I said he had a good vertical leap. Give that a round of applause. And you can see how far he's off the ground. It's incredible. No, but if they had life membership for volleyball, Paddy would have earned that because he played over 300 games, playing mainly in the hills, top-level volleyball. So, well done, Paddy, and we welcome him to the microphone. Paddy Rogers.
Fantastic. Thank you, Starkey. Thank you, everyone. What an intimate little crowd we are tonight. We're going to have some fun. I'm going to hang some crap on some people and hopefully still be friends with them at the end of it. So I just want to start off by saying that the hardest part about doing comedy, though, is actually coming up with your own jokes, because you never know if the joke you're telling is your own, or if you think you've heard it somewhere before and you accidentally steal someone else's material. So if I accidentally steal someone else's joke, I apologise in advance. So anyway, I was on the train and I saw a hot Asian and I thought to myself, don't get a boner, don't get a boner, don't get a boner. And then she did. Baxter's a good mate of mine. Shane actually went on a Tinder date with a girl from Thailand, true story, and he tried to go all in, but she had the nuts. I took the rest of the day off when I came up with that one. Good bloke, good bloke. I said to him, I want to get fit, Shane, and I'm going to go for a swim this afternoon. He says, I've got a pool at my place. You can come round. And I said, I'd rather do some laps. I might go to the aquatic centre. Would you like to come? He says, I can't. I've been lifetime banned from the aquatic centre for peeing in the pool. I said, that's no big deal, bro. Everybody does it. He said, yeah, but not off the 5-metre diving board. Shane actually met a girl on the golf course. I'll just do 5 minutes of Shane, is that all right? Met a girl on the golf course and took her home, and I couldn't believe that either. In the morning, he was flipping between the only 2 channels on his TV, golf and porn, golf and porn, golf and porn. And eventually she got fed up. She said, oh, for God's sake, just put the porn back on. You're already good at golf. I used to have a fantastic hairline until I started playing poker. It's a stressful game, but I reckon if I bumped into Chris Rock and Will Smith, they'd be like, G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. It's travelling south for the winter. Shout out to my buddy Sam Kewen over here, who came second in the Matchroom main event tournament last month. He won $23,000. Came home and told his girlfriend, though, she wasn't as excited. He said, what's the matter, babe? And she said, now you come second. I actually know Pinky's, I know Starkey's mate, Kebab. And I don't know if you know this, but he actually named his first son Kebab. That way when the baby was crying, he could say, shush Kebab. Okay. I just want to also give a shout out to Bok, who runs an incredible home game, one of my favourite home games to go to. Does everyone know Bok?
No, he's quiet.
Okay, great. Well, you'll get to know him over the next couple of minutes. Bok runs an incredible game because he runs a themed game. You know, we've got Tight Ass Tuesday. That's where people fold Ace King to a 3-bet pre-flop. We've got What's for Dinner Wednesday. That's where we grab the Uber Eats app and fight over what we're going to have for dinner. Just make sure there's a white boy salad in there for me, mate. Can't have Asian greens. That's a Bok Choy joke. And also Sexual Harassment Sunday. That's where he tells the massage therapist that it's time to lose some weight. Bok's also an ambassador for the #MeToo movement and available for mentoring young girls. Get around him. So the only complaint I've got about Bok's game is the room temperature is either really warm, anyone who's played there knows this, okay, or he puts the air conditioner on and it's so cold I could hang my nonna's prosciutto in there. It's freezing. And so I think even Greta Thunberg was worried about climate change in that round. How dare you! But it's indicative of how woke the world is becoming. I mean, the gay community are upset about the term rainbow flop. The transgender community are upset about the use of the term straight flush. They want to rename it the LGBTQI non-binary flush. It does get a little bit confusing though if you're at a home game and you're like, is there a royal jackpot or an LGBTQI non-binary flush jackpot tonight? I'm 10% on the river, got it, thank you. But if Kyle Rittenhouse started a poker club, he would have to call it Black Fives Matter. That's a political joke for 2 of you. Anyone can make the whole room laugh, but to single out 2 people, that is talent. I don't know if you know this about Bok's, but Bok's actually not Bok's first name. Bok's his last name. I know I was shocked when he added me on Facebook and his first name was Guantanamo Bay. But it would be kind of weird if your first name was Bok, wouldn't it? Because your name would be Bok Bok. And then every time I'm playing a pot against you, I'd feel like I was impersonating a chicken. Actions on you, Bok Bok! Your turn back, Bok Bok! Someone call the clock, Bok! I love you, Bocky. If there was an award for the loudest poker player in Adelaide, though, there'd be 2 nominees. There'd be Michael Caine. You know the Frank Walker guy? Hello, Frank Walker from National Titles here. Just here to make a public announcement for Michael Caine. Stop impersonating me, you sound like a fuckwit. And of course, Tom, Bok's brother. Tong wins purely based on volume plus puss puss meow. And I remember the first time I met Tong, and someone nicknamed him the toilet. And I said, is that because he keeps making a flush? He said, no, because he's full of shit. But, I know Tong's not here tonight, but I just want to congratulate him on being the second best player in their family. Way! My friends again. Rock and roll. Everyone here knows Gigi? Yeah? Gigi, if you don't know Gigi, she's got really bad arthritis. I have to look at my wife there, that's it. See, all the sick old men are like, yeah. Gigi's a legend of poker. She's, but the only poker player I know that's named after her cup size. Oh, Gigi, if you're offended by that, you should come to Box Game tomorrow night. Sexual harassment Sunday, get around it. No, I'm surprised. She's actually a very, very good poker player, Gigi. But I am surprised that so many dudes like to play pots against her, seeing as she always seems to have such a big pair. Alright, so I'm no racist, which is a great way to start a sentence. How can I be a racist when I married a South African? Which is clearly a lower race. But when I'm at the table, I can't understand some of the Asian accents. You know, like, is it just me? I remember playing with Lionel's girlfriend, Catherine, was dealing. And every time it was my turn to act, she kept saying, fuck all, fuck all, fuck all. I mean, we were playing a 5-5 game, and what she was trying to say was 5 to call. I'm like, there's another word in there that I think you need to say. And, but coincidentally, that's the same amount of integrity that Ivan Jin and Ramin used to run Royal Poker Club with. Fuck all. I know what you guys are thinking. You're thinking, Paddy, who is the worst poker player in Adelaide? And it's not even close. Long Trong. Yeah. Long Trong is the worst player I've ever seen. Okay, like his poker strategy is as useless as a chocolate teapot. I can remember a 4-way all-in pot. Okay, and his last act with $800 stack, he's called he's tanking with deuce 3 of diamonds, and eventually puts in the call. I mean, he might have had the best hand with 3 high, who knows, with 3 players all in front of him. And it wasn't the call or the bad beat as he made a flush on the river that got me mad. It was his reaction. He was like, I knew the flush was coming. I knew the flush was coming. I was like, congratulations on being named Fortune Teller of the Year in 2029. Long trunk. Let me put it this way. You're never going to see Superman and Clark Kent in the same room. You can't, because they're exactly the same person. Okay? Likewise, you'll never see Spider-Man and Peter Parker in the same room. You can't. They're exactly the same person. Which is why you'll never see Long Trung's poker strategy and a bucket of shit in the same room at the same time. They're exactly the same. Guys, I am Paddy Rogers. Thank you so much.
Yeah, very good. I said he was the headline act, and you just saw why. Fantastic job. So, running perfectly to schedule. We've got about 10 minutes to do our special thing with the life memberships. There's a box over there, which Flavio's going to bring over for us. And we'll just pull them out. We were going to get James. James is going to present them. The reason James is going to present them is because James isn't a life member yet. He's clocked up 200 and something, so he's well on the way. So we wanted someone who's not a life member who could present these. So I actually did a little presentation, I think. This only happened this morning when Linda contacted me and said she couldn't make it. I thought I'll do a little thing for the life members. So here we go. Alex. No. Alex B. He does have someone who's got exactly the same name who gets him into a bit of trouble occasionally. This Alex is the best guy you would ever meet anyway. So Alex, come and receive your... Here comes James. Pinky, you want to just pull one out of the box? You pull that one out, we'll just show people what they're getting. So congratulations, Alex. Jenny's going to do a photo as you go off too. But if you're wondering, if you're in the audience, that's what we did up. It's got the Matchroom logo with the pair of threes, and on the reverse side it's got Life Member. So if you've played 300 games as a player or an administrator, here at the Matchroom, that's what you'll be earning. You throw away your BMW or your Mercedes keyring, replace it with one of those. Dillygaff, Alan Ryan. I actually noticed he arrived wearing that cap tonight. Does anyone know what Dillygaff stands for?
No.
Do I look like I
Give a fuck.
Turn around for a photo.
Anyone want to buy?
Anthony Chaptini. Check out my stack. Anthony's not with us tonight. Arthur actually won the Whinge and Win Award last year, but you can see he's not whinging there. When you get the ultimate prize, you're not a whinger. There's Flavio. This will be the last level for re-entry. Flavio actually arrived at the Matchroom day one of the reopening. He was a tournament director. So he's done an amazing job over the last 7 years. Well done, Flav. Fred. Whenever you have a bad beat, Fred goes, "That's poker." And Tim's just hit his guts are straight by me getting a set on the river. I said, "No, that's not poker, that's just bloody luck." George, I have 2 speeds, stop and slow.
Only slow these days.
Yeah, that relates to George returning to the workforce and getting his lollipop job, holding up the stop and slow sign. Well done, George. Oh, great opposite.
Well done, George.
The more you put, the more you win.
Yeah. Gina, the name is Gina, there's no one keener. I think that says it all. She's been an amazing asset for the Matchroom. Helen, don't get sucked in by my smile and batting my eyelids. If you're here at the last poker comedy night, you would have heard the story about Helen playing poker against George Best, world's best soccer player, and taking all his money. Almost took his manhood too. Like he was on offer that night apparently, but she was a newlywed. Jerry. He finally got to use his gong. Luck beats skill, Warnie. So R.I.P. Warnie too, one of our great poker mates from over the years. Joe Reiner, I'll teach you young bucks. Now this is me as a young lad, this is in my university days, so tin wasn't too far off, thinking I was a bit of a hippie, but I feel I've matured as a player. So that was about 50 years ago.
Well done,
Jenny changed me. Oh, photo. Thank you. That's a famous quote from Helen. Every time she gets beaten. No, sorry, Julie. I won't repeat that because I don't like to swear. And Linda, I'm Linda from Tinder. Matt, never fear, Matt Shimo Shear is here. So that's Gina's partner. And Nelson, call me Jesus. Someone actually was calling him Jesus. He gets to call me Jesus a bit.
Don't raise me, Jesus.
Yeah. And there's only early days of the matchroom. He was always quoting, "Oh, yeah, that's in my poker book. That's chapter 3. That's chapter 3 in my book." And there's our mate Tim again. Watch me get it in bad and ruin you. Okay, and that's it. Oh, this is, I thought of Shane Baxter when I saw this joke. Shane Baxter's on Tinder a bit, I think. He goes, "I'll be playing poker Monday through Saturday, but don't worry, I'll spend Sunday with you watching videos of me playing poker." Okay, thanks a lot for coming. Feel free to order food, and we're going to set up our tournaments to start in about 15 minutes or so. So good on you.